Welcome to the Truth to You podcast, a daily dose of spiritual inspiration and encouragement for the whole family. I'm Pastor Scott, and I'm so glad you've joined us. Each day, we'll dive into God's Word with a devotional designed to bring your family closer to the Lord and to each other. Let's get started. Hello, welcome back, everybody, to the Truth to You podcast. It has been a long time since we recorded, but I'm sitting here with my dear wife. How are you, babe?
Hello, doing well.
Fantastic. And we just want to do a little review from the summer. We haven't done this, but I thought it'd be a great thing considering the good summer that we did have.
Yes, it was very good.
We had a good summer for us personally, I think, because we had a lot of family come and visit, which is always a great thing. And then we took some great trips with some teens this summer. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, so we went, actually for the first time for us, we took the 9th and 10th grade on a weekend missions trip to a church plant here in Virginia.
Yes, we had a good time with that, of course, and met a fine couple that are planning a church that I had not heard of.
Right.
Really, it was a contact through BIMI that we were able to find these folks, and they are in a rural part of Virginia. And
What was the name?
A beautiful Fluvanna County.
Oh,
I remember
Fluvanna.
was the name of the county, and it believe it or not, 15, right? Highway 15.
Yes.
It goes all the way. It goes all the way,
Yes.
and it's about 2.5, 3 hours just to the western part, southwestern part of the state. And really beautiful out there. Really
It
beautiful. I
was.
think, this trip was interesting. I think we took the 9th and 10th graders that qualified for that trip. I think some of them were in a little bit of a culture shock.
Yeah, I think it was just new for them to be more country. It was also a church plant, so very small.
Yeah.
New experience. And the church is meeting in a public school right now.
Right.
So we were in a public school cafeteria for the morning service.
Yeah. So those of you who don't have kids that were part of that trip, or teens who don't really know what went on, this was a trip that the teens qualified for, and we had a great time. It was a 2.5 day deal. We rented a Airbnb house, which turned out to be an awesome experience. Had the guys on one level, girls on the other, and then there was a basement that had all these games in it.
Yeah.
And so we really didn't have a moment where we were like, oh man, we're bored, we have nothing to do. We were either doing ministry stuff, or we were having some discussions, just about the Bible, or just playing, having some fun. We played Chameleon on that trip.
Yes,
some people
lively games.
Yeah.
And Happy Salmon, which
I
is
loved
very
it.
loud.
I loved it because we really got to see some of the personality of some of the kids come through.
Right.
And obviously, being in youth work, there are teens that we know better than others, and so I enjoyed getting to know some of the teens maybe I didn't know as well.
Right.
And seeing them have a good time. What do they laugh at? What do they like? What do they not like?
Yeah. And just that small group setting, they come out of themselves a little more.
Yeah.
Some of the guys I had never really hardly said 2 words before.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, you do talk.
Yeah, it was great. And then, I've already referenced it, but, our devotional times were just really special, I thought.
Yeah.
We talked about some really specific things. We read through a book together and kind of passed it around. And it was a great experience, I thought.
One interesting thing with this group, every single group we've ever taken, which has been quite a few, you always find out who struggles with time and
Right.
All right, who's going to be late?
Yeah.
Who are we going to be waiting on?
Right.
We've kind of made it a joke as we leave on a group. However, this group, they were all on time.
Right.
We were never waiting.
Yeah, it was special.
So that was pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, that was
They were on time.
unexpected.
However, they
way.
didn't necessarily remember all of their items. We did
We
have to
had-
make a few trips to Walmart.
We did. If that Walmart wouldn't have been there, we would have been dead in the water. Or some of those teens would have been dead in the water, but or one teen. Let's just be honest. But anyway, we will. Whose name will go without mentioning. But
it was great.
Great trip. I felt like the Lord really used it. Teens came back just excited, I think, about a ministry opportunity. And so that was special. We slid right into teen camp, though, after that. It was like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that.
Long.
And then, boom, we're taking 50 teenagers to Bill Rice Ranch.
Just another exciting trip. I think AC wasn't working terribly well. I don't know on either bus, so it was a pretty hot ride down.
Typical.
Yes, very typical.
Right. That's all part of the camp experience. You just have to
But I honestly feel like the week itself wasn't as hot as it has been some years.
Yeah,
like
you're
the
talking about
temperature
in Tennessee?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'd agree. Yeah.
For me, I felt like it was only really hot one day, but that could have been just me. I don't know.
Right, and these are full length days. I mean, they just they start early, and then they end late. They most certainly do, and it's jam packed with competition, sports, music, the whole gamut of things, and we're able to have a ton of interaction with our teens throughout the day, and then we even get to preach at them in the dorm in the evenings. So that's exciting too. And we took I'll say this, what was different about this year than maybe previous years, we took a full staff.
Right.
I mean, when we talk about youth workers and that sort of thing, we took a full crew.
Great amount of help.
And it was an awesome group, though. I mean, Lord's really provided, Andrew and Ellie, and they've not skipped a beat. I mean, they've just jumped in, and they've been such a help, and have such great attitudes, and it's really neat how the Lord has given our youth worker staff just different strengths, and everybody jumps in at teen camp. Everybody gets involved, and is a part of the action going on. So it's just a blessing. But on the teen side of things, what do we see that were some positive things on the teen side of things?
Well, I'm thinking of a funny story right now, but on the teen side of things, like, we had a surprisingly good week as far as sports. You kind of never know how that's going to go.
It's very true.
Past few years, honestly, hasn't been probably our greatest in that regard.
Right.
Which, it's just games. But it was really fun to see. The girls' soccer did very well. I think they ended up winning everything. However, there was one moment in a soccer game I'll never forget. One girl kicked the ball with all her might, and her shoe flew off into the air pretty high, and then she stood there and proceeded to catch it.
She caught it. I mean, it was the play of the day, and it had nothing to do with soccer. It was
like
cool.
Graceful too. It was
Just whee! And she's got the catch. Yeah,
this is very entertaining.
That was fantastic. There were some really special moments in the sporting competition. Just a lot of fun. I would say in that sense we overachieved, in the sense
sports.
of what we've done in the past and all of that. And competition's different at the ranch from year to year, but well, it was just like an outpouring of the goodness of the Lord, on our kids, and they were
just
able to
encouraging and fun to do well.
Yeah, it was. And then the thing that gets me most excited is the sportsmanship trophy.
Right.
That
was
is
huge.
It is really, it's tough to win. You think it wouldn't be at a Christian camp, right? But it's stiff competition at a Christian camp, right? I mean, Christian character, they're watching you, but really proud of our group. This is only the second time in temple history that we've won that. And it's tough for big groups when they come in to win, right?
It's much easier for a smaller group.
You have
fewer
you got
people
less
to
people that need to keep a lid on it.
Less people to be like, don't say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop.
Exactly.
But
there was a noticeable push by some of our upperclassmen to really even try to keep some of the younger people accountable in that way, and that was just so refreshing. Whether we would have been recognized for winning it or not, it's still I was going to be super proud. Right. Just the way that everybody conducted themselves. But it all lined up, and the judges saw that too, so that was cool.
Another really special thing, I feel like that was the best in many years, is like the camaraderie of our group in general to go cheer on basketball's playing, let's go over there. Football's playing, let's all of us go over there.
Grace Jackson.
Topper.
Grace Topper. I get Grace Jackson
yes.
on mine. But we've got the football championship going on.
The girls were doing cheers, trying to tumble and do acts of
making some funny
acrobats that they
funny
can't
moments.
do.
Yeah, that was super.
So that was just neat. I don't feel like we've had that in a little while.
Yeah.
Just the group.
The camaraderie.
Yeah, wanting to be together, wanting to support each other.
Yeah.
That was just really
That's wonderful. And then the spiritual aspect, right?
Most important.
Was wonderful. We had just a wonderful display of tenderness in the hearts of the teens coming forward, and got to pray with so many. Camp decisions, and just so grateful for that. We had an incredible, on the guys' side of things, coming back from the ranch, we had incredible testimony time. I just can't think of one guy who didn't want to say something that the Lord did, that they were thankful for, or that something the Lord spoke to them about in the week. Numerous guys gave multiple testimonies, and it just kept going. And then all of a sudden we were at Buc-ee's an hour and a half down the road. So that was pretty special, and I think that was something that maybe we haven't seen, in that way. Yeah. And I don't know, you speak to the girls' side of things. You felt like it went well. Yeah,
girls, I usually like to say stuff. Maybe they're a little more open than the guys like to be. And typically, you always have to pass the Kleenex box around a little bit, but it was still a good time. It's encouraging to hear, the older girls always go first, and then the younger ones want to start saying things, which is just great to see.
Right.
So it was just really good, and just like every service, several times I had to talk to like 3 or 4 people at once. Like we just had that many coming forward, which was encouraging.
Yeah, very encouraging. And then we fast forward, right? We fast forward to the next trip after that.
Weeks.
Yeah, right. We were in Mexico. So we took a mission trip to Mexico with, this was the rewards trip for the 11th and 12th graders. And we were with the Estep family there in Leon, Mexico. And they're doing a great work there. The Lord's provided funds, much in part because of the giving of our people here, for them to build a building. That building is, I think it's like 98% done. The roof is on. Brother Sam sent me some pictures last week. Yeah. They're just really excited about that. And we had a good trip.
Yeah. We had, again, I feel like the camaraderie was very good. Sometimes you kind of end up with like 2 different groups of friends, or just, I don't know, people maybe who feel left
pairing off.
Yeah, feel left out of the group, or I have this one friend. Yeah. But we had a good group though, that they all wanted to be together. Yeah. Kind of no matter what was going on. Had some very unique things with like rainstorms and flooding and power outage. We got stranded a little bit. Right. Not terribly long. I had envisions of having to like sleep out on the floor at their house.
Oh my. At the missionaries' home.
Right. And not being able to get back to our hotel. But we did. We had to wait several hours, but we did eventually make it back.
Yeah. It was great. Lord gave us a great VBS we were able to help out with, and we saw, I forget now, how many people got saved? Was it?
I think 8, maybe total of 9.
8 and 9. 9, I think it was 9 is the right answer. Yeah, because I was thinking there's one saved for every teenager that went on that trip.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that was really wonderful.
The most we've ever seen on a missions trip.
Right,
so
yeah, and to
special.
that point, this was one of the most fruitful missions trips I think we've ever been on in terms of just tangible, like you're seeing
visible.
The Lord is doing something, not a year after we leave, but He's doing something right now, and we're able to see that. Right. And fruit comes in different ways, but this was a very encouraging missions trip to be a part of, and great group of teens, and just a spiritual heart. I remember we were doing something one afternoon, and one of the guys came up and said, "Brother Scott, can we just pray? Can we just pray that the Lord would work in today and in the VBS?" And so we did. We got some guys together and we just started praying. I got done with that and I thought, this is what it's all about. That hunger and thirst after righteousness and seeing the Lord use us and see Him do things, and that's just really special to see in our teenagers.
Right. Yeah. Another big aspect of this trip was just the flexibility, which we always talk about with groups.
Right.
And we told them, and this is probably as far as like once we got there,
Yeah.
the flexibility went up very high.
Oh, sure.
Probably higher than we've had to experience before. So it was just,
Right.
Things change, a car broke down.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get places because of how our transportation worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, picking up their people, our group had to do waiting.
Yeah,
or just, oh, now we have to set up this tent. It's getting dark soon.
Yeah.
Let's move quickly. So I feel like our group did well with that, though. They were not complainers. They had a great attitude and just kind of rolled with the punches.
Yeah, it was a great trip. And I think that, those 3 events this summer have really put me in a place that I still occupy now, which is that I think that our youth group is closer than it's ever been to just experiencing full-on revival. And I told the parents this in our parent meeting on last Sunday night, and I said, I just cannot wait to see what God does this year.
Yeah.
And I'm anxious to see it. And you know what? I'm already hearing from teachers in the school that something is different this year. And many people or some of those teachers are tying it to potentially camp, and I think it's, pick one of the 3. If somebody was on those trips, there was a great spirit about it. I think we've got some real spiritual teenagers who want to do what's right, and not just do what's right, but go above and beyond.
Right.
Let's
take the next step.
Let's go to the next level.
Let's start influencing.
Okay, so I don't mess up. Great.
Right.
Well, let's. What can we do for the Lord?
Right.
How can I reach somebody right here and now, and for those parents who weren't able to attend the parent meeting, that's really our theme for this year. It's just continue thou, and we're going to talk about 2 Timothy chapter 1 through the end of the book there, and we're going to talk about just fanning the flame of revival, and hey, keep going, don't stop. Allow what God did in your heart over the summer just to keep right on going. And that's going to be our message to the teens, and of course, parents, we're praying for you. This is a big moment in your lives as you're on the front lines there at home of their growth, their spiritual growth and discipleship, and we know that you're seeing things that we don't see, and maybe some of these testimonies we've shared about the summer encourages your heart,
right?
About the work that you're doing at home. But just a very, very thankful for the summer that we had, and just wanted to, before we get into the regular Bible study of the the podcast, I wanted to just take a good look back and thank the Lord for the summer that He gave us. Yeah.
I do remember on our trip home from camp just thinking a lot of the way, like I was just so grateful. And just I felt like my heart was just like overflowing with gratefulness of the week, and just kind of carried through the whole summer of just really looking back with thankfulness and just all glory to the Lord.
Amen. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of recap of the summer and conversation that we've had together. And I don't know, we did this a few years ago. We talked about books we were reading and all kinds of stuff, that extra content that maybe people don't ever hear about, and I don't know if they're interested in, but maybe we'll get back to doing some of that in the future.
Our time got away from us.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Take care.